life in the Pac-12. You come off one top 10 opponent, take on another one.
Yeah, really. I mean, it's a great conference this year, I think, and we've said it before. But the pitching from top to bottom is very good, and you can see Stanford beat UCLA, last weekend. So there's no gimmies for sure, and we know that. And especially going down to ASU, they got a great pitcher in Juarez, definitely doing a great job this year, and of course Maha right behind her. So they're very difficult, especially to beat at home.
You have a big stretch coming up where you're facing a bunch of top 10 teams.
Yeah.
It seems like every week. How big was it to get the sweep against Arizona?
Oh, it was huge. Obviously, if you want to compete in championship and hopefully get a Pac-12 title, you've got to win your series, and then you've got to pick up some sweeps. So to us, I think that was a bonus for us to pick up that because we kept pace with Washington in that regard.
Speaking of pitching, you have two of the best in the country. It's not easy to keep runs off the board against a team like Arizona. Just break down last weekend and where your pitching's at.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously you don't know until you get out there what you're going to have, but I think Kleist threw a great game to start off and really started to use all her pitches as we went along, and as a pitch caller, that's fun to do. And then you're thinking, okay, how's Miranda going to top this one? And then she comes out and just throws a tremendous game, for a good 5 innings until the rain came. And then you was thinking, okay, is this going to stop now? We're going to lose momentum. And she showed some maturity by coming back out and putting them away. Had 3 strikeouts, and we scored the runs to finish the game. And then going into the last game, sometimes Megan can struggle at third time through or the second time playing that same team in the weekend, and she hasn't done that this year. That's showing me the maturity of Megan this year, is her ability to come back out and put teams away the next time through.
Is Miranda helping draw some of that out of her? I mean, challenging her a little bit, maybe challenging her status as the ace of this team?
Well, we talk about that. We talk about how you can all make each other better, and and I don't think Maggie Ballant's done yet either. Maggie Ballant could. I think we've identified some things or some areas where Maggie can get better. Hopefully going down the road here. It might take a couple of weeks, but I'm looking forward to having her back in the mix as well as another option for us.
How has Maggie sort of handled that? Obviously she's talented herself, but not being able to throw against a top 10 team last week, and how has she sort of maybe responded to that?
Yeah, well, she's very competitive, and I've talked to her about it, and like I said, we're focused on her getting better. And it is about the team right now, and right now with those two, it's hard to get in there. But hopefully she'll accept that role. Last year it was the other way around. Miranda Ellis was being used sparingly, and look what happened there. So I'm hoping the same thing can happen.
You mentioned last year. What has Miranda done this year to take that next step?
Well, I think she's stopped being just a thrower. I mean, when she came in, she wanted to just throw it harder and harder and try to throw it by people, especially when she got in trouble. This year she's understanding that it's about ins and outs, it's about location and managing that and using different pitches. She's developed a good rise ball to go with her drop, and also the changeup. Still working on it, but it is there and it can be a threat.
You knew UCLA had great pitching, had Washington great pitching. Arizona State, I mean, have their staff really taken a step forward this year?
Absolutely. I mean, we always knew Maha and actually Rindak were good. They were their go-tos in several years, and Juarez was the number 2. And this year it's flip-flopped. Juarez, and of course being left-handed, and she's throwing with good velocity. So I'm not sure what they did in the off-season. I may be giving her a call and say, what did you do? Because it's been quite a jump. That kid is pretty special this year.
How did you feel you handled left-handed pitching last week, though?
I thought we did pretty well. We were committed to it. If they're throwing 3 right-handers, we might have had trouble. We were so committed to it. But it's nice that we've got a kind of a stretch of these 3 games in a row, or these 3 series in a row, where we have, Arizona and then ASU, and then of course Oklahoma coming to town with their 2 lefties. So it's kind of good. They're all back to back to back, and hopefully we'll be able to go to work on that and get some good results.
You mentioned Juarez was the number 2 last year. You hit her around a little bit here
Yeah.
at home. What is she different? What's different about her this year?
Well, it just looks like her velocity is better, and she's using all her pitches. I think that's what I see. The first thing I see that comes to mind is that what she's doing different. It just seems like the velocity's a little better.
Can you speak to the consistency of your lineup? It seems like, any given day you might not know who's going to step up, but somebody generally has been. So are you confident that someone will step up in any given day, or do you worry at all that there might be a game where it's not clicking for anybody?
Yeah, well, you always worry about that game when nothing happens. You don't get any runs driven in, and that was the frustrating part for the first, maybe the middle part of the season right there is, when Savekis and Rhodes and Iakopo all kind of struggled together. But of course, with Gwen emerging right now and doing a good job, and Mary's protecting her behind her, and Rhodes is coming up some big hits every now and then. That's what we need. We need we need people who's going to step up today. We need somebody different, but somebody has to step up because our top 2 are getting on base.
Mary played with Juarez in the U.S. junior team, didn't she?
That's correct. Yep, she sure did.
She knows her well then, or
We're hoping. How well, I don't know, but they had a pretty awesome team. Malapola was on that from Arizona as well.
what's the message to the team coming off a sweep, obviously, and then it's just like you can't look back; you always have to look forward.
Well, I think right now the focus is, do we want to compete for a championship? I mean, that's always the carrot in front of you. It's always good to play for championships and carrots. Something to play for out there. And if we want to keep pace with, obviously, if we lose the series to Arizona State, it's going to be between them and Washington, and we want to stay up with those leaders. First goal is to win the series. We need to get 2 out of 3, and then go up to Washington and knock them